In continuing with the appropriate techniques in conflict management, our focus now is on useful steps to be taken to manage conflict. Key and pertinent to this topic is that we don't procrastinate, as it has an impact on negatively deepening the opportunity to resolve a conflict. So the issue is to take things head on, or tackle them rather, in a constructive manner, and hence the techniques in conflict management. And so we're going to look at the managing of conflict of others. In particular, let's look at in the scope of meeting. Planning a meeting as a mediator in conflict resolution, say between two parties. And so we've created a scenario here, the mediator and two parties. And so there needs to be a planning and a preparation, and obviously a practice of what the process is and the standard operating procedure for the meeting to be effective, as it serves its importance in helping resolve conflict. And so in the meeting, what we're looking for is the outcome of a conflict resolution that should be commensurate to the level of the inputs from both parties in terms of planning, preparation, and the practice of conflict resolution. In other words, at the end of the meeting, it is likely to be measured by this statement: that the planning, the preparation, and the practice of conflict resolution is commensurate to the performance or the result of the conflict process at hand. In managing conflicts of others, let each person state their case. So if you're the mediator, you've got to allow each person ample and equal opportunity to state their case. In stating the case, here we are managing a conflict between two parties, as we said. You need to be an active listener. Listening skills are probably the most difficult of soft skills to develop as an individual, and in particular in a working environment. Here you're required to listen to both expression and the position of both parties. Here you probably need to show empathy, meaning that you are able to put yourself in each party's shoes. You're able to show compassion and care. One of the 4 leading leadership experts, John Maxwell, says, people don't care how much you know unless you show them how much you care. And so when you show care to both parties, you're creating an environment that's conducive for them to be able to come together and participate in the conflict process. Here you need to avoid interruptions from both parties. So set around boundaries, not necessarily hard and fast rules, but which allow a conducive environment for each and every party to be able to express themselves without interruption. Each party should enjoy the opportunity to communicate without interruption. In managing conflicts of others, make it clear that you want to resolve. Here it's about creating an environment for both parties to create an outcome of their conflict. Help resolve, not solve. Both parties must solve their own conflict. And the purpose of mediation is to control and help the process, hopefully, which brings out a resolution. And in the way you do it, the manner must be objective, where you're not providing answers for the parties involved, but you're initiating an environment and creating an enabling environment where they own the outcome. So the parties must initiate their own resolution. You're like a conduit that allows for this process. We need to maintain objectivity. And this requires discipline, meaning that there is no bias to one party over the other. And this should never be tolerated, that we show bias to one party over the other. It means that we've got to refrain from influencing parties with your own opinions and ideas for the resolution. It means that we've got to create equal attention to both parties, respective who is right or who is wrong. You are there to create a neutral expression and gain a non-biased position between the parties. Meaning we don't overreact when there is drama, but we maintain a balanced, assertive, non-partisan position in helping with the process.